Okay, let's figure out which of these three characters we're gonna continue the story with. I'm gonna start with Haruhi Shigima. I'm curious about her story. And also, again, of these three, I think she's the most interesting character. Then, I also like Junior Detective Man here. Oh, they gave me a summary. Not dreams. Haruhi Shigima. When the son of Haruhi Shigima was kidnapped, a botched investigation by the police resulted in the child's murder. 1 year later, Haruhi has hired a private investigator to help resolve the unsettled case. Late at night, while speaking to the detective at her home, something strange suddenly appears. I feel like her power is also harder to kill with, because if someone has like a lighter on them, easy, right? But if they don't, then what do? Slip a lighter in their pocket? Is that why she gets the detective to go out and like ask people for a light? But he asked me for a light before I picked up the cigarette lighter, right? I picked up the lighter after I talked to him, although not everyone would have done it in that order. That's the thing too, is like of these three protagonists, she's a curse user. I know what her ability is. I don't know what Yako's ability is, and I don't even know if Tetsuo is a curse holder. I'm assuming he is. Okay, let's do it with this one. Despite being the most mysterious of the three, I think I know the most about her, strangely enough. Kill them. Kill them. The flame bearers. Kill them all. You've acquired the power of the Curse Stone, the Haunting Clappers. You can use it to kill those with fire or a fire-starting device on their person. Press Use Curse to set your target light. I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna try not killing anyone myself. I'm not gonna press the button on anyone. I'm gonna force her to press the button for me. That's true. If she was a good pickpocket, then she could put a lighter into their pockets, but I have a feeling that might not be the case. Hey, Baker, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for coming by. Welcome, welcome. Hope you guys are all doing well today. Please go check out Catboy Baker when you get a chance. Say hello, check out him. He's a cool gamer, handsome VTuber, awesome community. Go join in and follow him on all social media. Hope you guys had a great stream. You're playing Solasta, Crown of the Magister. Sounds like fun. Nole, welcome to the stream, and Cyrocha, welcome in. I'm Kiro, the frog-themed martial artist. We're playing Paranormasight, 7 Mysteries of Honjo. And we're just starting a new story path, so feel free to sit back and relax. Or go take care of yourself after your stream. I appreciate you being here. A murderous impulse seeps into my soul like thick black tar. I think the nice thing about these stories too is I can skip the entire like introduction part, because the introduction was like an hour long, and then I don't need to hear that again. Now, kill. Can you hear it, curse bearer? You who so strongly desires the right. Kill them. So if she's trying to bring back her son, she already has a better reason than Shogo ever did. I'm just gonna say. AJ Russell, welcome to the stream. Haruhi Shigima, 12 a.m. Shigima Mansion Reception Room. Back with me, ma'am? Can't say I understand what just happened, but it certainly seems to have put you in a good mood. This might be the first time I've ever seen you really smile. Sweet dreams. Okay, I should read her profile. Now that I'm playing as her, that means there's more information on her, right? Haruhi Shigima, housewife. Haruhi is a housewife who resides in a manor near Shimoku Bridge. Her 11-year-old son, Shuichi, was kidnapped and murdered about a year ago. The death was a result of a mistake on the part of the detective assigned to the case. A mistake which enraged the kidnapper and had him cut off all contact with the police, leaving no room for negotiation. I wonder if that was Tetsuo. The incident was covered up and Shuichi's killer remains at large, leading the aggrieved Haruo to call on the services of a private investigator, Richter Kai, to uncover the truth. The Shigema family came from a line of samurai who built their residence in Honjo during the Edo period. They assumed important positions in the police force following the Meiji Revolution, thereby protecting their family's elevated status. Even today, many in the Shigema line work as police bureaucrats and senior police officers. Haruo's father sits in the upper echelons of the National Police Agency, and her husband, adopted into the Shigema clan through an arranged marriage, is also a highly respected agency official. However, as her family prioritizes work above all else, it wasn't long before Haruo's marriage grew cold. Though she wants for nothing, she's isolated from her neighbors and withdrawn from society. Seeing her son grow into a young man gave Haruo a purpose in life, but it was cut short by the kidnapping incident. Following the incident, Haruo spent many days in a deep depression, breaking into sudden fits of shouting and wandering around in the middle of the night. Her cheerful, loving disposition faded away, and she took to making snide remarks at her husband, which only further soured their relationship. A few months ago, Haruo's husband was transferred to another area for work, and now rarely returns home, with Haruo left to live in the large, empty mansion alone. As a housekeeper who has been with the family for a long time comes in to take care of the housework, Haruo has nothing but time on her hands. Okay, and Richter hasn't been updated. Oh, Yutaro's has been updated as well. Do I want to read his now? Maybe we'll read it when we see him again. I don't want to spend all the time going through the files. No. Not dreams. Sounds like something I might want to hear about. Yeah, I just had this murderous impulse telling me to burn people. You know, normal things. A fax machine. It can send images to other places along the telephone network. I don't really know how it works. Most houses don't have one. I rarely find a use for it. An old hanging scroll. I don't know who painted it. It's been hanging here since before I was born. She has a lot more things to examine in her room than any other location we've been to so far. An arrangement of flowers. We bring in someone to do it. I don't even know what the flowers are called. A stereo unit with separated speakers designed for home use. My husband insisted on buying one, even though he isn't one to listen to music often. Well, I'll be damned. Is that what I think it is? Goodness, you made me jump. It's just a silly little sticker my son got from somewhere or other. He put it up before. Well, you know what happened. I still can't bring myself to take it down. Let me take a closer look. I knew it. It's the head Hensho from way back in set number 1. This is a real collector's item. Excuse me? Don't tell me you never heard of the Mockingbirds. The what? They're the hottest new craze. Cute little birds dressed up like rough and tumble delinquents. I've never heard of them, but this certainly seems to matter to you. The best part is nobody knows who made them. They just start showing up around town, and soon enough, they'd won everybody's hearts. The story goes they're made by some anonymous artist who covertly leaves them behind specific locations. No one knows when or where they'll show up next. They're basically an urban legend of sorts. You'd think one would turn up here of all places. This is a good sign, I'm sure of it. What if her son was the artist? Oh, well, that's nice. Are these collectibles? A color television. Father bought one as soon as it hit the market. He likes to have the latest gadgets. Until the latest models, there's no remote control. We've had it for a long time. Or unlike the latest models. Back when it was new, we all gathered around it and marveled at it as a family. With father and my husband being away so often, it quickly fell into disuse. The swinging of the pendulum echoes through the room. It feels livelier than usual with Richter here. Usually, it's just me. A private investigator I hired. A friend told me about him. They said he's not very well known, but he's good at what he does. When I first visited his office in Ota City and saw how he dressed, I could hardly believe he was a detective. But after talking to him for a while, I changed my mind. He says some strange things at times, but he seems like the reliable sort. So I think now he's been updated. No, that's the wrong person. Oh, well, this one doesn't even have much on him. Richter Kai. The eccentric man that Shogo Oge ran into at Onji Bridge. Richter is actually a private investigator with an office in Oda City, Tokyo. After taking on a request from Haruo Shigima to investigate the unresolved kidnapping and murder of her son, he gets caught up in the events surrounding the rite of resurrection. Once a police officer, Richter was racked with guilt over the police's inability to help those in need, and quit the force to start his own private investigation firm. However, his soft-hearted nature leads him to take on too many cases and has put his office in dire financial straits. How is he still in business is a mystery, with some whispering that a wealthy patron is keeping him afloat. Richter studied alongside Detective Jun Ario at the police academy. Somewhat surprisingly, given his outlandish clothing and mannerisms, Richter excels at covert investigations and tailing his targets. He proudly refers to himself as an investigator extraordinaire, though that only ever succeeds at impressing himself. Richter's biggest source of happiness is nuzzling his pet female albino parakeet, Ernestine, which he keeps in his office. He also enjoys collecting mockingbird stickers, a popular line of merchandise featuring birds inexplicably dressed as like delinquents, and can be frequently sighted searching around town for them. While out and about, Richter typically leaves the office and, more importantly, Ernestine, in the care of Amamori, a junior high schooler who volunteered to assist Richter after being involved with a previous case. Wait, is Amamori the last name of Yako? I guess she's not here. Let me bring you up to speed. We were in the middle of a chat when you suddenly started spacing out, and the whole time you were grinning to yourself like you just won the lottery. Here to tell me what that was all about? Well, where to start? Murder. Interesting. Very interesting. So the haunting clapper's curse echo appeared out of nowhere. Told you how to perform the rite of resurrection and gave you the curse you'll need to do it. Have I got that right? Like, this really is like the Holy Grail war where they get like all the information like beamed into their heads as it starts. I mean, not the casters, but like or not the masters, but like the servants. They get all the information like beamed into their heads at the start, so you don't have to go through exposition. That's right. So it's all real. Honestly, I still find it hard to believe. But I guess I have to now. He's very quick to believe this. I saw that curse stone appear in your hand myself. It looked like it popped clean out of thin air. With evidence that clear, there's no denying there's some supernatural force at work. I don't think you quite understand. Oh? This isn't about evidence, and it isn't about belief. It's more than that. I know it's real. The moment the curse appeared, I knew everything before it even said a word. It was already there in my head, clear as day. You just knew, huh? It was etched onto my soul, along with the curse echo's resentful memories. So I can feel it, what it was like. Dying like they did hundreds of years ago. Wreathed in flame, writhing in pain as my flesh blackens and my blood boils. I can feel it. All the agony, all the rage. It fills me with bloodlust. I think I need to kill someone. Anyone will do, just as long as they're carrying fire. I see. That could be a problem. You think so? From what I know of you, I was sure you'd see it as an opportunity. The stronger the desire to resurrect someone, the stronger the urge to kill. That's how it seems to me, anyway. Good grief, talk about a spanner in the works. I say we take stock for a moment, remind ourselves where we've come from and where we're going. That might be a good idea. My heart's still racing. This is it, my chance. At long last. That's what you hired me for, ma'am, to look into your son's kidnapping last year. To uncover the truth behind the abduction and murder of Shuichi Shigima. Oh yes, I remember. They never did find the one who did it. That's what I'm here about today, in fact. Kind of you to let me drop by so late, by the way. I've been turning over every last stone, and I come up with a grand total of 1 lead. So you said. As far as the police are concerned, it's a cold case, but I managed to make some headway. I remember, you were just about to tell me. Okay, well, I guess I should actually read that. I should read about my ability as well. Kills by burning one who is in possession of fire or a fire-starting device. Red, red, red. Everything has dyed crimson. My home is burning to the ground. It's hot, so hot. I must call for help, but I cannot speak. My throat must be burned up from the smoke. No, I think I'm already on fire. That's right. I'll just use the clappers. Clack, clack. Is anybody there? Clack, clack. Why is no one coming? I'm going to burn to death. How did it come to this? Oh, right. Her. It must be the work of that vixen who appeared suddenly and enchanted my lord. That witch. Those hauntingly cold eyes had my lord dancing on the palm of her hand. Perhaps I was also taken in by her. How many innocent people did I lure in under orders? This must be karma. The sound of a heavy bell. It feels like my head will split open. Alright. The evening bell. That must be why nobody can hear the sound of my clappers. I've got to do it louder. Clack, clack. This isn't really new for me. Okay, so when it said updated, just because I added this to it. Wait. The more time has passed since their passing, the more soul dregs are required. Oh, okay. So if someone died a long time ago, I need to kill more people. So if Shogo wanted to resurrect Yoko, when he reached 100%, that's what he needed for someone who had died within the last couple hours. But then how does... I mean, I know it's a gameplay mechanic, the percentage, but it's like, then that would assume that the Curse Stone needs to know who you plan to resurrect ahead of time so it can give you a proper percentage, right? Because if you change your mind about who to resurrect, the percentage should change, right? Or if you wait too long, the percentage should change because it should deteriorate. But I know it's a gameplay mechanic. But then again, this game likes to play with meta, so... Okay, this is just information about the area. Oh, yeah, they actually like give you like actual maps. That's kind of cool. Well, I'm not gonna check that. Oh, okay. Shuichi Shigima, elementary school student. The only son of Haruo Shigima, he was kidnapped and murdered 1 year ago. His body was discovered floating in the Sumida River. Shuichi was a conscientious, brave young boy who was determined to protect his mother, Haruo, amid his father's frequent absences. He dreamed of becoming a police officer and displayed diligence and an impressive sense of responsibility from a young age, likely due to being raised in an extremely strict environment. Born in the early 70s, he spent his days immersed in various activities and studies, including playing piano, learning the abacus, taking English lessons, and training in kendo. Shuichi's tendency to put other people's needs over his own meant he died without ever telling his classmates how much he longed for them to all go out on a hunt for mockingbird stickers. You know, we still need to figure out exactly what you want me to do. Tell you what, why don't I tell you what I found and we can make a decision? Alright. You know, we still need to figure out exactly... Okay. About the kidnapping. I suppose there's not much point going over the kidnapping itself. No, I'm very familiar. Then I'll leave that part for the files to cover and just confirm a few things about the case. The police traced the culprit's calls back to, let's see here, Northern Oyoko River here in Sumida City. It's quite a wide area. That's right. In the end, they never managed to nail down exactly where the calls were coming from, but it was almost certainly the same location that Shuichi was being held captive. It said Shuichi's voice could be heard during the killer's calls. Northern Oyoko River is quite a distance from Shuichi's normal school commute. Factoring in that he was seen at school but was missing before he arrived at his house, it's likely he was abducted by car on his route home. Maybe, but... Exactly. Shuichi was a clever boy. He would never have gotten into a car with a stranger. That's right. I was very firm about that. I know he understood, too. I even saw him warning the other children. It's possible they forced him into the car. The only issue is there weren't any witnesses to the kidnapping. You can't bundle someone into a car without that many students around and not be noticed. But nobody came forward to say they saw anything suspicious. So, did they target him at some other time, or somewhere away from his usual route? Both of those seem a little far-fetched. Which raises the question, how did the kidnapper pull it off? The police never managed to find an answer. In the end, they decided the kidnapper must have gotten lucky. What if the kidnapper was a police officer? Well, why not turn the problem on its head? The kidnapper managed to convince Shuichi to get into the car, but how? The only thing that makes sense to me is they were somebody he would have had a reason to trust. A teacher, perhaps, or a relative, or somebody else that he knew. But all the adults Shuichi knew had alibis. The police checked on them thoroughly. They did, huh? No one throws numbers at a problem like the cops. But what if it wasn't someone he knew? Or rather, what if the culprit disguised themselves as a police officer? That would explain why he didn't find them suspicious. The Shigima family has close ties to the police after all. He would have had a reason to trust them. You might be right. But surely that couldn't have... Well, there's a problem with the theory. You'd be surprised how much police officers stand out. That's sort of the point, after all. They're meant to be a visible deterrent against crime. So it wasn't a person dressed as a police officer. It was actually a police officer. Like a plainclothes police officer? Or maybe it was an officer that he knew. Here's another interesting little bit of trivia I happen to know. When you ask people to imagine someone suspicious, nobody pictures women or children. Even kids who've been warned about stranger danger often subconsciously expect that danger to look like an adult man. Besides, Shuichi was the sort of boy who wanted to be a police officer when he grew up. He must have had a very strong sense of right and wrong. That's right. Wait, surely you can't mean... Now you're getting it. If, say, a young woman approached Shuichi asking for help, what would he have done? If someone like that said they were lost and asked him for directions, would he have gotten into a car? He might have. My husband always told him a man had a duty to watch out for women and children. You could certainly argue that kind of attitude is outdated nowadays, but if Shuichi believed it, then we might have something here. Then you think the culprit was a young woman. But it was a man's voice on the phone. She might have been an accomplice, or maybe she didn't even realize she was being used. If anything, that would explain why she hadn't come forward. She might herself have not realized she had anything to do with the case. So the question is, did anybody see Shuichi speaking with a young woman on the day of his disappearance? See, when I said about people's biases, that goes for witnesses too. And I figured that maybe if I started asking new questions, I might get some new answers. So I spent my day asking around Shuichi's school route, seeing if anyone had seen something. One man thought he had. Do you mean he saw it happen? Well, I can't say for sure yet. It turned out he wanted something from me, so he asked if we can talk in private. Several hours earlier. Alright, this should do. There's no one around. We could speak in confidence. Excuse me, what was your name again? Janucci. Got it. Well, Janucci, I'm all ears. So, just so we're on the same page. You're a private detective investigating Shuichi Shigima's kidnapping. Do I have that right? Of course. What else do I look like? I don't know. Cowboy? How should I know what a private detective looks like? Oh, forget it. Look, I'll tell you straight. My life is in danger. I need your help. Huh? You'll excuse me if that caught me a little off guard. Let me ask you straight. Who's trying to kill you? A student called Michiyo Shiraishi. Interesting. A schoolgirl, eh? Sounds like you've been naughty. It's nothing like that. That girl, she's a murderer. Is this the girl that was with the glasses guy? Because it's not the girl that jumped the fence. She had a different name. She was like Yako or something. I'm the only one who knows, but I saw what she did. Michiyo Shiraishi. I saw her kidnap Shuichi Shigima. Come again? I saw her talk to him on the street and led him away. I didn't think much of it at the time, but then he went missing. She murdered him, I'm sure of it. Or at least she's got something to do with it. That's what you're here for, isn't it? Then you can't let her get to me. If that's true, you've been sitting on some valuable information. Why didn't you tell anybody? Well, you see. If you can't explain it, I don't have any reason to believe you. I couldn't. She told me she'd kill me if I spoke a word. You're telling me a schoolgirl had you scared for your life? So you've been sitting on that all this time and you think she's coming for you now that you spilled the beans? Yes, that's it exactly. I'm begging you, don't let her get to me. Arrest her, I'm telling you, she's a demon. Well, you seem to believe what you're saying, but it just doesn't add up. How could a schoolgirl have a fully grown man so terrified? You don't know what she can do. She'll curse me. Curse you? I'm sorry, but you're losing me here. It's true, her house, it's... forget it, why do I even bother? You seem dubious enough to believe me, but I should have known you'd never understand. Enough, I'll find someone else to help me. Hey. That's about the long and short of it. I could hardly believe it. At the time, I thought his mention of curses was just crazy talk, but I'm starting to see here there might have been more to it. Then, if we could just find that girl. Curse or no curse, if she was with Shuichi on the day of the kidnapping, then there's a good chance she knows something. On top of that, I did some digging on the man I spoke to. His full name is Kohei Jonichi. He's a teacher at Komagata High School here in Sumida, so he teaches at the school that Yako goes to. There are threads of relationships between these characters. A teacher, then the schoolgirl. Is one of his students? I think that's very likely. He also said he updated the files, so... He updated a whole bunch of... Or these are old ones. At last, we got a lead. Hopefully it'll be the breakthrough we're looking for. Hey Valkyria, welcome to the stream. The Rite of Resurrection, huh? I read about that in a cult magazine the other day. Apparently some old book showed up recently with all the gory details. And they say the rite could be found somewhere in Honjo. I remember the first time you told me about that. It felt like my prayers had been heard. Valkyria, thank you so much for the sub. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for 31 months of ongoing support. Thank you, thank you. Like I had hope, real hope for the first time. Ever since that awful day, I've wondered. What if I hadn't sent him to school? What if I just paid the ransom? Not a day goes by when I don't think that if I'd done something differently, Shuichi would still be alive. You can't blame yourself, ma'am. It was the culprit's fault, not yours. Though I know that won't help any. Grief is funny like that. I'm guessing that's why you're after the right. Guess I didn't need to ask. It's written all over your face. I could tell how much he meant to you. But this is a big but. If this right is a real deal, using it will mean killing someone and stealing their soul. Is that a problem? If it comes to that, I'm afraid I'll have to stop you. Oh, that's a shame. A shame, huh? That's all? I thought if I'm going to be competing with other curse bearers, then your detective skills might come in useful. You realize you're talking about ending someone's life, right? Don't you see an issue with that? I think any parent in my position would happily kill for a chance like this. I wonder if in her story she kills him right off the bat. Because in Shogo's route, it looked like he was helping her. But we're not really sure about that. But we could be in an alternate timeline. Is that so, is it? Dear, oh dear, what have I gotten myself into? He doesn't seem that concerned, though. If it makes you uncomfortable, then you won't have to get any blood on your hands yourself. I don't need you to kill the other curse bears. I only need you to find them. I won't be party to murder, ma'am. Not even for a client. Oh. They did say that he was in debt. I feel like if I say that's a shame, she's just gonna kill him right now. Which, I mean, wouldn't be a very good idea, because at least with Shogo's method of killing, they just drop dead. With hers, they burst into flames. That's a lot harder to hide, right? I'll pay you. How much can I give you to change your mind? Sorry, ma'am, but not everyone has a price. I got my policies and I stick to them. I see. I didn't realize you're so stubborn. Let me say, though, it's not like I don't get what you're going through. As long as you're not killing anyone with your own hands, maybe I can help you out. What does that mean? You can bend your morals that way? You just find a loophole in your own logic? What do you mean? What do you have in mind? Well, how about stealing someone else's curse stone after they filled it with soul dregs? If it was all you're after, I could lend you my services guilt-free. Interesting. If the other curse bears were to kill each other, that's their business. I'm not trying to be a hero here. I guess there's no guarantee a stolen curse stone will work, but we can worry about that later. But again, that brings up the problem. I just read in the files that if you want to resurrect someone, it takes a different amount of souls depending on how long ago they died. So even if someone collected enough souls for them, it might not be enough for her. Well, then I suppose we have a deal. I guess maybe that's why she tried not to kill Shogo. She would have preferred just to get his stone and run. Although, what if I stole a curse stone using my curse? Would you disapprove? Ugh. That would void our contract, ma'am. Just warning you now. My. Like, Richter sounds like he has, like, morals and stuff, but he's like, I'm kind of willing to bend the rules a little bit or find a loophole in my own logic. I don't know what that says about him, though. Makes him more interesting of a character, that's for sure. My heart's still racing. This is it, my chance at long last. Before we go any further, why don't you tell me about that curse of yours? The Haunting Clappers, was it? That's one of the 7 Mysteries of Honjo, if I remember correctly. That's right. The original story did happen somewhere near here, I think. I'm sure I remember hearing that. In that case, my money would be on all the curse bears being somewhere in Honjo. Our first move should be to narrow them down. Some of them are bound to try and come for you first. We'll need to be ready. The curses make their bears more willing to kill, so an attack could come from anywhere. That sounds sensible. Oh, I meant to press the wrong button. If I remember correctly, your haunting clappers can set people on fire, but only if they have a naked flame or a lighter on their person. Is that right? That's right. In olden times, wooden clappers were used to warn people of fire. I'm guessing it punishes those who don't heed the warning. It seems like a good curse to have. It's simple and straightforward enough to use. Not as good as Shogo's, apparently. Although it's hard to say how it stacks up without knowing what else is on the table. You really think that it's that good? The target can't do much to throw it off, and it has a nice long activation window. It's big that it works on lighters too, just slip one in your target's pocket. And say that condition was already fulfilled before they even knew you're there, they wouldn't even have to know what hit them. Maybe I won't actually have to use it. I could just tell someone I could, and they'd have to do what I said. Threats could work, although without any proof, it'll come down to how convincing you could be. If only you could use the curse, then back out at the last second. At the last second? What an interesting idea. I have a lighter right here. We could try it now. On you? That's an interesting proposition. But maybe not. I'm not quite crazy enough to make myself a guinea pig. Oh, I see. You're an odd one, ma'am, if you don't mind me saying, and I don't think it's just the curse. You flatterer. Richter, you call her the odd one. I think you're the more odd one. She's doing this with a drive to bring back her son, willing to murder someone. You are like, well, I don't want to kill anyone, but, you know, if you almost kill someone, it's fine, but you might not want to... I won't support you if you kill someone, but if you get really close, and if you happen to kill them anyway, you know, like, our contract's void, but you know what, I'll help you. Even if I might come to that in the future. Like, I think he's the weirder one, because he's, like, playing these mental gymnastics to help her. As for what we should do next, first of all, I think you should stay indoors. Try not to do anything spontaneous or outside your normal routine. I mean, it's 12 o'clock at night. It's midnight. Her routine is go to bed. Right then, have you decided what you want me working on? I mean, and is he not scared of her? I mean, he knows how her ability works, so I guess that puts him in a position of power. What if I tell him to do this one? Also, I like how his face wrinkles make male Mikote facial marking from Final Fantasy XIV. Investigate the kidnapping. Finally I have a lead. I need to know what happened to my son. Your wish is my command, ma'am. I'll focus all my efforts on looking into the kidnapping. Although, something just occurred to me. You can't investigate the matter at night, can you? At least until the sun rises. Could you search for other curse bearers? Alright, I see how it is. Well, I'd be happy to help. Odds are good the other curse bearers are also working by night. Anyone they kill under the cover of darkness won't be discovered until sunrise. I bet they'll be trying to do as much as they can before morning comes. So it's settled then. I'll look into the other curse bearers by night. Oh, his face wrinkles make you look like he's wearing glasses? I can see why you would think that. And once the city wakes up, I can start asking questions. I'll investigate the kidnapping as well. Actually, now that you mention it, because underneath his... Actually, maybe it is glasses, because underneath his eyebrow, there's another line. Oh no, that's just his... No, never mind. It moved when he blinked. It moved when he blinked. I thought his double eyelid was the top of the glasses, but it moved when he blinked, which means it's not. I'll even try and find Miss Shiraishi as part of the bargain. Thank you. That's more than enough. Okay, are we done with all the exposition here? Can we just get going? Now then. I should get to work. There's only so much time before sunrise. I'll call you if I find anything new. You stay here and keep a lookout. Alright. Wait, do I switch to playing as him if she just stays at home? Oh, see, look, his facial wrinkles softened here, so now he doesn't look like he's wearing glasses at all. There's no telling what kinds of curses you might find out on the streets tonight. You'll go outside if you can help it, and try to be ready for anything. I will. I mean, if she just stays in her house, like, unless one of the curse bearers breaks into people's houses, because it's not like they can detect each other, she should be safe, right? Well, if that's all, I should be going. Also, did they all get their powers on the same evening? Because it sounds like, the girl, Miyoko, has had her power for a while if she's threatening the school teacher with it. Okay, I'm interested in her story now, though. Haruhi has an interesting story. 1 a.m. Shigema Mansion Reception Room. It's been almost an hour since Richter left. He promised he'd call me if anything happened. But he hasn't. So all I can do is wait. and wait. I know it's dangerous to go out, but I can't just sit here and let this opportunity pass me by. I have to look for her, for Michio Shiraishi. But first, I need to find more soul dregs. I can't look at the sticker anymore. Should I put a record on? No, it's too late for that. I'm not in the mood for music anyway. The flowers put me at ease just a little. That old hanging scroll. I've seen it too often to feel anything from it now. Come to think of it, I never offered him any tea. Not that I ever learned how to make it. It's a fax machine. I rarely find a use for it. I don't know anybody else who owns one. I'm waiting for Richter to contact me, but he hasn't. What's this? A newspaper. It must have fallen off the chair. I'll read it later. There's nothing on at this hour. I see no point in turning it on. Okay. Oh, I pressed the wrong thing. It's a newspaper. I only leave them in here for the guests. I hardly ever read them myself. I don't think I've taken the time to go over one in years, in fact. Well, it's not like I have anything better to do. Oh, Jesus. Society. It looks like the city's biggest problem right now is pollution. I remember how the air and water used to be even more polluted. The river was covered in scum from all the sewage and industrial waste, and it stank so badly it'd make my eyes water. Eventually, people started getting sick, and it couldn't be ignored anymore. Fortunately, it's gotten better since then. Although the air around the industrial district is still filthy with gas and smog. I'm glad it doesn't actually give me an article to read. She just kind of summarizes it, because I don't want to read that much. If there's one thing Honjo never wants for, it's horrific crimes. They found a police officer dead in the local park just the other day. A lot of my family are in the police. I hope it wasn't anybody I knew. I don't read the news anymore, not since last year. It brings back bad memories. Wait, I just clicked society, but there's more. Suicide at local high school. Oh, I remember that. A high school girl jumped off a roof about a week ago. She was bullied, I think, or maybe it was something about exam pressure. Huh? What? But... No, this can't be right. Her name. Michio Shiraishi from Komagata High School. My private detective isn't very good if he failed to realize that the girl headlining the newspaper is the one that he's looking for. It can't be. All sorts of articles about the current state of the economy. Now the post-war boom has passed its peak, we're moving into the era of large corporations. It's about 220 to 230 yen to the dollar. Manufacturing is on the rise and exports are healthy. The dollar's down from its height and people are saying it could fall further. There's no denying how much the standard of living has improved in the past few years. It's common to own a car and television now, and supermarkets are better stocked than ever. Oh my god, how many more articles are there if I had to click on each of these things like 3 times? Along with everyone flocking to the city, land prices are skyrocketing. Nowadays, most people can only dream of home ownership. The city centers could be nothing but apartments before long. I'm not exactly a businesswoman, so this all feels like another world to me. Now that everyone has more spending money to go around, people are coming up with all kinds of new diversions. It seems like only yesterday people were flocking to the arcades to shoot aliens. But now we have these enormous theme parks and gaming machines that plug straight into our televisions. Everyone's talking about superhero series, foreign films, and movies based on the latest bestseller. Back in my day, fusion rock and folk music were all the rage, but now it's all about city pop and idols. I find it hard to care about that sort of thing anymore. Wait, I just realized something. Yako's friend that she mentioned was Mio. Mio could be short for Miyoko. It didn't strike me because Miyoko starts with M-I-Y and not M-I-O, but then I realized that Phonetically, it doesn't need to be spelled the same way as it is, like, written. It just needs to be the same phonetically. So maybe Mio or Miyoko is Miyoko Shiraishi is Yako's friend. I mean, not maybe. I'm almost certain that's the case. Look at the culture articles. Wait, no. The story's even weirder. Because, okay, I can understand if the private investigator, if Richter heard Miyoko's name today and was like, I'm gonna go investigate her, and he didn't know that she committed suicide already. But the man he talked to, Junichi, was Miyoko's teacher. There's no way he wouldn't have known that she died a week ago. Something doesn't add up. Something doesn't add up here. I hear the new big thing is some mascot line of delinquent birds. Mockingbirds, I think it's called. Was that what Richter was talking about? Trends seem to have such short shelf lives now with how quickly the times are changing. I think I'm just too old to keep up anymore. It's young people who are leading the way with their modern world views. My generation would only fall further behind. Everyone attends high school now, even girls. Universal education policy, they call it. The country's gotten rich enough that every child can go to school. Education is a backbone of modern society. If you want to work for a good company, you have to get into a good university. With more people in the running than ever, the competition to get into those universities has gotten fierce, though. The new generation's rebelling. Schoolyard violence and delinquency are on the rise. But my boy was too sensible to get mixed up in any of that. I don't want to read anymore. It'll only remind me of him. I don't really watch much television. It feels as if all the information in the world gets passed through that little black box. The father stopped them from reporting on the kidnapping back when it happened. I was glad about that. Less fuss. Now the comedy boom is over and all the comedians are flocking to other genres. The cult seems really popular at the moment. Look at all these paranormal specials. Michio... Oh, I mixed up her name. It wasn't Miyoko. It was Michio. I think Michio could still be... Mio could still be short for Michio. Maybe. Michio Shiraishi, the same girl who witnessed my son's kidnapping, committed suicide last week. But that means Mr. Junichi was terrified of someone who already died? Is that what he meant by a curse? I can't work this out on my own. Maybe Richter will know. Why won't he call? Oh, I haven't left it off the hook, have I? I was waiting for Richter to contact me, but he hasn't. I've made sure the receiver's on the hook. It'll ring as soon as he calls. Ah! That must be him. Hello, Shigima residence. Oh, I'm already moving on to the next hour? Komagata Bridge. Richter called me out to meet him, and we came here to Komagata Bridge. Richter, there's something I need to tell you. Funny, I was just thinking the same thing. We're on Komagata Bridge over the Sumida River. There's a highway on one side and a freeway on the other, but they're both deserted this late at night. It's kind of neat that you get all these files about the actual, like, locations, even though they don't seem, like, super pertinent. But if you want, like, the lore on this place... The Sumida River. The water's filthy and horrid, but at night, when it's still, it looks almost peaceful. Can I ask you something, ma'am? Is the Sumida River what you Honjo folks picture when you think of home? I couldn't say. All I can tell you is that I can hardly stand the sight of it. Right, should have guessed. This was where they found him after he went missing. All alone, floating in that horrible water. All I can think is how scared he must have been, how cold he must have been. What did he ever do to deserve something so awful? I've come here every day since then. and I prayed to the river to give him back. To give me back my son. Day after day after day. You know, in olden times, people believed rivers marked where a world met in the next. So the act of crossing flowing water has a huge amount of spiritual significance. Back when Edo was founded, the people of Chuo saw the Sumida River the same way. They associated the far side of the river with the afterlife. That same place would later become Honjo. All their fear and revulsion accumulated there and took root. But then the Ryogoku Bridge sprang up after the Great Fire of Mireki, and just like that, Honjo is part of the city too. Man, someone had to make this map and annotate every single little thing for the sake of this one graphic, and no one's gonna read every single little word there. And as it turned from farmland into a town, the people surrounded it with man-made rivers and crisscrossed it with canals and waterways. Weren't those to prevent flooding? That's what I was told. They were, but that's not all they were for. Their other purpose was to contain all the corruption that built up on the far shore, and stop it leaking through to our side of the Great Divide. Officially, they were a physical barrier, but unofficially, they were a spiritual one too. So, if I have this right, are you saying that Honjo is a place where the real world meets the afterlife? Exactly, that's why the rite of resurrection is here rather than anywhere else, I'm sure of it. And it's probably why the Seven Mysteries and their curses have survived to the modern day. And I guess I would make this spot, where we're standing now, right over the water, the border between life and death. If there's ever a place where bringing back the dead might be possible, I reckon it's here. It's funny you mentioned praying to the river. That might have done more than you think. Is that supposed to make me feel better? Just thinking aloud, ma'am. Well, it's a nice thought. Ooh, that's interesting, because that might have been a missable scene. Oh, that's right. There's one more memory I have of this river. Do you mind if I tell you? Go ahead. It must have been about 20 years now, when I was still a schoolgirl. Back then, the Sumida River was much filthier than it is now. It was full of garbage and industrial discharge. It was scummy and slimy, and it stank. You could look out over the water and see dead cats and dogs and pigeons just floating. And one day, among all the filth and garbage, there was a piece of my missing classmate's hand. What? It was almost a miracle when you stop to think about it. What were the chances that someone would find a part of her that was still recognizable? And although everything but the palm had rotted away in the water, the part that was left would have been an unidentifiable scar. And they could tell it had been a murder from the blade marks on the bone. Wait, are you talking about the Nejima murders? So you have heard of it. I'm impressed. I assume you were but an elementary schooler at the time. I wasn't really aware of it then, I only heard about it after the fact. I had no idea the victim was a classmate of yours. To be honest, it was a bit of a blur. A wave of chaos just parting around me. Something like that. They said the rest of her body must have sunk to the bottom of the river. They combed the riverbed, but they only ever found pieces. Everything else must have rotted and flowed out to sea. Afterwards, I heard that all the divers who had been looking for her fell ill. A sorry story for everyone involved, huh? It's funny, everyone figures the river's filthy already, so one more piece of garbage won't hurt. But every little bit makes it worse. It's a vicious cycle. I know I wouldn't want to go rooting around there myself. That's right. Which is why the riverbed is the last place anybody would go looking. Or so was the killer's thinking, I suppose. The times were changing quickly back then. Things were confusing. Everyone seemed to be in a hurry. Young people were moving to Tokyo in droves. Some even ran away from home to make it in the big city. And they made easy targets for bad people. A lot of them ended up disappearing without a trace. Huh? You see, back then, if you chopped a body up into tiny pieces and threw it in the river, it would rot quickly and discreetly, and sink to the bottom, never to be seen again. Are you saying what I think you're saying? They arrested him shortly after. Fumichika Nejima, the man who killed my classmate and cut her into pieces. He was so methodical about it, it couldn't have been his first crime. And people began to wonder how many other girls he'd murdered the same way. The police never found any evidence of other murders in the end. But the river knows the truth. How many corpses has it swallowed up over the years, I wonder? That same thought spread through everyone's mind and they started to avoid this area. So really, this river has been rank with corruption for decades now. Or at least that's how it seems to me. Well, was that interesting? Well, I can see why you don't have any good memories of this river. With all the darkness lurking beneath the surface, there's no reason you would. Still, if I may, ma'am, I'm surprised you know so much about the Nejima murders. But how could I not? After all, I was the one. Found the hand. Why is he acting surprised? Didn't she start the story with that? The police actually wrote me a thank you letter. Oh no, she's just saying that she just said that the hand washed up, I think. She didn't reveal that she found it, but I think it was just implied. They said it was only thanks to me they managed to bring Nejima to justice. That was the only time my father ever said he was proud of me. Oh. I guess it wasn't just the killer's day. Sometimes I wonder if he resents me for it. I thought it was already implied that she found it, but I guess not. Yeah, I'm not reading all that. Is there a new person of interest, though? Oh. Fumichika Nejima, the man who made headlines over 2 decades ago as the perpetrator of the brutal killings known as the Nejima murders. The Sumida River. I have nothing but awful memories of it. I mean, maybe this wasn't a missable scene. Maybe I actually need to examine the river twice to proceed the story anyways. He's gazing down at the water. You know what? I'll go first. There's something I need to tell you. What's up? Well, that girl, Michio Shiraishi. The one who was with Shuichi on the day of the kidnapping. That's her. Well, she's dead. She's what? The student who committed suicide last week. That was her. I heard something like that had happened. Never got the name, though. Talk about bad luck. We finally get a lead only to find it's turned into a literal dead end. Unless her death was the whole reason Junichi was so shaken up. I keep wanting to call him Junichi. Junoichi was so shaken up. He said she was gonna curse him. Was he talking about her taking revenge from beyond the grave? It seems like we're back where we started. Not necessarily. That teacher knows something, I'm sure of it. At the very least, I put money on him having something to do with Miss Shiraishi's death. That's why he's so scared of being cursed by her. I see. Also, something tells me he knows more about your son's kidnapping. Huh? In any case, I think I've got a good idea of what he's hiding. Called a hunch. A hunch? Well, more of a theory. Care to take a guess? I can guess. I can't say for certain, but Mr. Jonoichi. Oh, Mr. Jonichi did not silence Mr. Jonichi. Silence Michio Shiraishi. With blackmail. What if Mr. Jonichi silenced Michio Shiraishi with blackmail? What do you think? Exactly my thinking. Jonoichi knew about Miss Shiraishi's connection to the kidnapping, and he used that to blackmail her into doing his bidding. He made her feel so trapped she took her own life to escape. That's my read on it. I mean, I agree, but also, like, we're making a lot of jumps and leaps of logic with very limited information. How despicable. Well, it's just a theory. Right now, I think we need to have another chat with Mr. Jonoichi. Please, go ahead. Alright then. I've been poking around places connected to the Seven Mysteries, looking for curse bearers. And I think I found a few candidates. First, a tall man I ran into in Kinshibori Park. I asked him for directions, trying to probe him a little, but he turned the questions right back around on me. And he was out of there the second he figured I wasn't what he was looking for. I got the sense curses were nothing new to him. I'm about 40% sure he's a curse bearer. Then there's this middle-aged guy I saw in South Warugesui Street. There's no question about this one. He had one of the curse stones in his hand. Wait, isn't that just Jonoichi? Or Junouchi? Isn't that him? He had a nervous air about him too. It was clear he was up to some shady business. Gathering soul dregs, I bet. He'd make a good target. Maybe he's the one who trapped Shogo in the darkness. Next up is a pair, a young man and a woman I saw around Ryogoku Bridge. Wow, Richter was able to see so many people without getting himself killed or noticed by some of these people. This time, the man came up to me and asked me flat out if I was a curse bearer. I told him I didn't know what he was talking about, and he backpedaled and left. Looks like they lurk around there often. Looking for kindred spirits would be my guess. Though it didn't seem like they were quite working as a pair. Gathering soul dregs in a group might be a decent idea if you can make it work. But with things being how they are, it's gotta be hard to find ones one can trust. They got brass though, I don't know what their deal is, but I'd like to find out. Last is two detectives I've seen sniffing around. The police are involved. Not necessarily, a body turned up in a local park a few days ago, so they might just be looking into that. Oh, that's why when Shogo saw them, he was like, oh, are they investigating the murders? He wasn't talking about, or are they investigating the body? He wasn't talking about Yoko. Still, the park's got ties to one of the Seven Mysteries. Might be it was a curse that did the guy in. And if they're sending in detectives from the head office, then something's gotta be up. How do you know where they're from? Let's just say that when you're in this business, there's some faces you get to know. Anyway, that's everyone who's caught my eye. You found all of them in so little time. I really did hire the best. It's all in the name, ma'am. Richter Kai, P.I. No wait, make that Richter Kai Investigator Extraordinaire. My, an Investigator Extraordinaire. Is that why you can dress like that without drawing attention to yourself? Also, he didn't mention Shogo, so this is before he encountered him or on a different timeline. You bet, an Investigator Extraordinaire can blend in like a chameleon in any outfit. Well, that aside. The middle-aged man and the young couple sound the most promising, am I right? Whichever we pick, it's still too early to make a move. It seems like the curse bearers are less involved with each other than we thought. Plus, there's still others we don't know about. I say we hang fire and see how things play out. Once more bodies start showing up, that'll make the pot nice and hot. And once it's boiling, our chance will come. So he's saying, table this for another night. Which I agree, but standing around is the last thing I want to be doing right now. This is my only chance to bring back my son. I can't afford to fritter it away. Is something wrong? Not really, it just struck me. It's been 20 years since the Nejima murders. So it has. Not to spook you or anything, but I thought you might be interested in knowing. Life in prison doesn't always mean life. There's precedent for first-time offenders being allowed out on parole after 20 years. Only if they found to show remorse and the desire to reform themselves, of course. That's right. I'm impressed you know so much. I mean, he's a detective. He should know this stuff. Still, it's hard for someone with a criminal record to reintegrate into society. I hear they've been trying to fix that recently, matching inmates with jobs and accommodation. Oh, really? They keep an eye on them, of course, and make them report in for regular checkups. But to avoid discrimination, they keep the inmates' records a secret from everyone but their employers. They even give particularly notorious criminals new identities so they won't be recognized in the workplace. Is he... What if, like, Nejima is Junoichi or something like that? My. The way you put it, it's like you're saying Fumichika Nejima could be out on parole right now. Back in society under a new name, with nobody any the wiser. It's possible. As it happens, a little birdie told me about a big name making parole a few months back. I don't know if it was Nejima, but our discussion just now did bring it to mind. I see. How unsettling. Now that you mention it, I just remembered something too. What was it? I was passing Komagata High School a little while ago when I saw someone. A janitor, I think, and I could have sworn he reminded me of Fumichika Nejima. Oh? He looked a little different after 20 years. Much thinner than I remembered too. I told myself I was just seeing things. But perhaps it was him after all. So, what next? The big question now is what the rest of the curse bearers are up to. Luckily, the Sumida River is a good distance from any of the Seven Mysteries. Okay, he says that, but there's nothing really limiting the curse bearers into staying near the areas of the mysteries, right? I think the mysteries are just the locations where they get their power, right? Just like Shogo, he got his power and then he left, right? Same with Haruwe and same with Glasses guy. So there's no guarantee they're going to be near those locations anyways. They could be anywhere. It's unlikely that the curse bearers will come all the way here. I could finally have a moment to think. I see. Alright. Wait, is this the end of her story for now? Do I have to, like, suspend? Like, do I need to make progress somewhere else in order to continue her story? You currently cannot progress any further. Once your situation has changed, select resume to try again. Pressing suspend will return you to the story chart. Okay, so yeah, that's how we're playing this game. Darn it, I wanted to, like, segment my VOD so that each person's story would be in one VOD. But actually, we got a lot of information from her story, so... I was trying to decide if I want to stop there for tonight. I think what we could do is we could continue Tetsuo's story tomorrow, go as far as we can, and if it unlocks something on hers, great. If not, then, like, if his gets blocked off, then we'll do Yako's, and then we'll, like, jump around from there. I think that might be the play here. The thing is, like, Paranormasight 2 comes out on Thursday, so I'm streaming, well, today, and Monday, and Tuesday, so that's 3 days. Wednesday, we're doing a collab with J1, playing Marvel Cosmic Invasion, so I really only have 3 days to finish this game, and I have looked up the general length of this game, and I think, like, we're at like 4 hours now, and I think if I do 4 hours, 4 hours, 4 hours, I should be good, and I don't mind if I have to go a little bit longer on Tuesday or Monday or Tuesday. So maybe just for today, and also because Shogo's story was quite long, because his was the introduction. I don't want to start one of these people's stories and then, like, leave it in the middle, and I don't know how far it's gonna go today. So you know what? I think that's where we're gonna end today. Yeah, I think we're gonna end here today, and then we'll do Tetsuo and Yako's stories tomorrow. Hopefully that will also let us finish Haruwe's, and then I'm pretty sure there must be, like, an additional story or concluding story or some other protagonist after this. So we could do that on Tuesday. I think that's the idea. Okay. But I am very interested in this game. I thought it was just gonna be, like, murder, mystery, a little bit of horror, because, you know, mystery and horror go together pretty well. But the whole, like, battle royale thing they have going on, the killing game they have going on, is very interesting. And I like the way that that plays into the puzzle solving. Because I like puzzle solving, but, like, I'm not talking about, like, Resident Evil puzzle solving where you go into a room and, like, oh, to open this door, we need to do another puzzle, right? I'm talking about puzzle solving as in, like, the story gives you hints and you need to use that to figure out where to progress, because that's actually, like, very interesting to me. Trying to figure out the cursed bear's abilities and then preventing it, and then using the clues in the game to try to, like, circumvent that is actually, like, I think that's really fun. I think that's a really fun gameplay loop. I like the creativity that we avoided the glasses guy curse. I think Haraway's curse was a lot easier to figure out. But I can see why people really like this game. Hey, Alex, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for coming by. Thank you so much for the raid. I hope you guys are all doing well today. Please go check out our friend, Sir Alex. He's a really, really cool VTuber, time mage, very handsome, very sweet guy. Go check him out. You'll feel super welcome in his community right away. You'll know immediately when you go in there. So go follow him on social media, his Twitter and his Twitch. Welcome in, everyone, and thank you, your mama, for following me and being a froggy friend. Welcome in. Let's see. Let me scroll back and say hi to everyone. Angel Luna, welcome in. Sloth Journey, hello, hello. Peril, welcome in. Ichang, it's good to see you. New Pookie, hello, hello. Loco Smiles, welcome in. Shadow. Undying Zagreus, hello, hello. And Haru, welcome in. Hope you guys are all doing well. Looks like you were playing Roblox. That sounds like fun. We're actually just wrapping up, unfortunately. I could start another story, but I feel like if I start another story, that'd be like at least another hour and a half until we get to another roadblock. So I don't really want to do that, but I really appreciate you stopping by. I really appreciate you trusting me with your community. I'm Kiro, the frog-themed martial artist. We are playing Paranormasight, which is a visual novel, mystery, horror, supernatural, and it's been a really good time. I'm really enjoying this game. And we just finished up someone's, well, we didn't finish the story, we got to a roadblock. So you came at a good, like, stopping point, but I apologize. But again, go check out Sir Alex. He's super sweet. I really appreciate you guys. Oh, you did the same thing. You got raided and then you're just about to end too. See, that's the struggles of streaming, right? Okay, well, let's go say hi to, let me just, I need to make sure, I want to see if I can raid someone who's not ending. So I gotta judge based on how long their stream's been going. Okay, let's go say hi to Tay. He's super sweet. He's doing an ASMR stream. Let's go say hi to him. I'll see you guys tomorrow for more Paranormasight. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye, froggy friends.